I needed a pig for these, obviously. I lost Yarn Chicken because he deserves a cuddly little bear. Hello and welcome. My name is Charlotte and I am a knitter from Northern California. Happy holidays. Today I am here with you to talk about gift knitting and all the gifts that I hand knit for people who I really love in my life. And I know that gift knitting is not for everyone. A lot of people love to just knit for themselves, and I love that so much. I also really like to knit for myself, but I find that there's something really special about hand making something for somebody else. I have hits and I have misses in the things that I've made for people, but even if they don't end up getting like the very best gift, they hopefully at least know that time and love and care went into that item. I am coming to you on Christmas Day. I personally celebrate Christmas, so most of these I would consider Christmas presents. However, I want to wish anybody a happy holiday no matter what they celebrate, or if they don't, hopefully you're having a restful time. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna quickly rewind. Let's go to a couple weeks ago. It is currently December 2nd. So what my thought was is I could go through today every single gift that I have on my needles, and then I will check back in if and when I finish them. There's a lot, so like we're not gonna finish all of them. So let's get started. I have this giant stack. Oh my god. Oh my. I have this giant stack of projects. This is all the whips that I have for people in my life. And I think there's 5 baskets and a bag. And most of these definitely have more than one project in them. My thought is that I would kind of start with the projects that are less likely to be finished and then move towards the ones that I'm hoping are more likely to get done. I am going to start with the presents and the gifts that I have for adults, and then we're going to move towards the presents that I have for kids. I just feel like I want to prioritize making gifts for the kids in my life because they're kids and it's the holidays, and the adults will get stuff, but also like they're adults and they can handle if they don't get things on time. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna put this big stack down. Great. I have them all laid out right here on the ground, and we're just gonna go through them one by one. The first one, or ones, that I have are in these 2 baskets, and there's just one in each of these baskets, so we're not going too crazy. They are a shawl and a pair of socks, and they are for my mama. She is a very, very knit-worthy person. She will wear the things I make her. She loves and appreciates them, probably more than I do, and so it makes making things for her really fun. The first thing that I have for her is a pair of socks. And basically all that has to be done on these socks, all that has to be done is to weave in these ends. And there's a lot, like a lot, because I was not the smartest knitter when I was knitting these up, and I just switched colors and didn't think about like how I should probably either weave in the ends as I go or do some kind of technique. I didn't. Fortunately, this one, the ends are all woven in. So if I get both of them done for her, she will have a little pair of socks in her stocking. A pair of stockings in her stocking, if you will. At least that's my goal, because I think it would be cute. Those are the number one for mom. And then the other one that I just am gonna touch on, but I know I won't finish it for her, is this gorgeous shawl. This is the What Tomorrow Brings shawl by, I can't remember the name of the pattern designer, so I'll write it in a description or whatever, but I'm making it all in one color, and I started this for a birthday present for her in 2023, so it's been on the needles for over a year. And I'm just at the place where it takes so long. As much as I would love to get this done, I just don't think that it's gonna happen. So those are the two for my mom. Also, I wanna say I have 2 dogs in the room with me right now, so if you hear any noises, any like, I don't know, paws on the ground or snoring, it's because there's dogs in here. But they're being really good and quiet right now. Cannot say the same thing for just a moment ago. The next thing that I want to talk about is another pair of socks. And this pair of socks is for a friend of mine, and they are a little less than halfway done. I'm currently working on the heel flap. They're a fun pair of stripy socks. They're from the book The Sock Project by Summerlee, but I don't remember the name of the sock. Maybe I could go grab that book, because I actually need to grab another book for some stuff I'm going to talk about later. Okay, they're the Trompe Monde socks from this book, The Sock Project, which I love. I've already talked about it, but it's such a great book, and I love a book because it's so many patterns and you physically like have it with you. So those are those socks. I would love to finish them for her to like have in the winter and wear in her boots and keep her toes warm, but we'll see if we make any progress on those. The next thing I have are hats for my brother-in-law and for my dad. So the hat for my brother-in-law is this hipster hat by Petite Knit. It is a purple hat, and I would say I have about 1 to 2 more inches to do of ribbing, and then I can start the crown decreases. I want this to be like a hat where you can really roll that brim up and get that full effect of the rolled brim. So we're gonna keep going on that. This, I'm sensing a pattern, but is similar to my mom's shawl in that this was a present for him from last year. For Christmas last year, I made a bunch of people hats. And his just didn't get done. So I'm sorry, but I hope that when it does get done, you like it. That's that hat. And the next hat is for my dad. He requested a red and black ski hat because he has red and black ski equipment and he wanted a hat to go with it. Makes sense. I haven't been working on this one for that long. I only have about 2 inches of, I doubt you could see it because it's black, but 2 inches of 1x1 rib. And I would probably want to do like maybe 3 times this much so it can be folded up once. And then it will go into color work. And my plan for the color work pattern is the Snofrost hat by the Petite Knitter, not Petite Knit. That was the hipster hat. This is the Petite Knitter. That's that hat. That's everything that I have on my needles for the adults. So let's move on to the really fun stuff, which is what I have on my needles for the kids in my life. I think I'm gonna start here, and that is with the projects I have for my nieces. I keep their projects in this fun bag from the Brooklyn General Store, because like what's on the outside of the bag kind of fits what's on the inside of the bag, I think. And also this is just the cutest little bag. I have two nieces. The first one is a toddler, and so this is for the toddler. Oh my, things are getting tangled in here. This is just the cutest little project. Wow. It is the R&R hoodie by Tannis, Lavallee, I'm not sure how to say their name, but this is a great pattern that I've already made once for her, and I'm making it in a bigger size. What I have left to do is kind of a lot. I have to do the shoulder decreases, sew up the armpits, do an I-cord, do the hood because it's a hoodie, do the I-cord edging, and sew in a zipper. And I have a bunch of fun colored zippers, so it'll be fun to see what color I choose for this. I think if I do it from the back, you can almost see the fun colors a little bit better. I don't know. So, yeah. But the two other things that I have on this bag are for my older niece. And the first one is what I'm going to really try and finish for Christmas. And that is this pair of pink socks. I've already completed this one. It needs the ends woven in and to be blocked. And then I'm just at about, maybe not quite, almost at the point where I can start my heel flap. And that's what I just need to do. I just need to get to that point, start on the heel flap, and get moving on these, because like my mom, she can have a pair of stockings in her stocking. And how fun are these? The yarn in these is also used in the next thing I'm making her. Y'all, things are getting wild in this bag. Okay. And that is I know this, I'm making it for myself. This is the Stockholm Slipover V-neck by Petite Knit. And I'm holding this yarn with another like fluffy pink yarn. And the majority of the knitting is done except for the ribbing. I'm at the very bottom ribbing, so I need to finish that up, bind that off, do the ribbing for the armholes and the neck, and bind those off too. And then we will be done with that. She has already tried this on for size, so it's not like a surprise. And she picked out the yarn. So I know she already knows about it. I'm thinking she'll get this for her birthday, so she doesn't have to wait a crazy long time, but I just don't see me getting it done by Christmas with everything else that I have going. Okay, that's the fun pink bag. Okay, the next thing that I have, this might be my favorite basket of knits of all time, of my 2-year knitting career. And that is that I had started making a couple months ago some animals out of this book, Moosh and Friends by, I want to say Cynthia Valet. I made this pig, his name is Alphonse, and I made him for my older niece. And he's already living with her, living his best life. But while I was making Alphonse, I got really into making the tiny clothes. I made this pair of overalls that, listen, like Alphonse wouldn't wear. He is kind of like a more down-to-earth pig, I would say. He's busy making soup And so he just wouldn't simply probably be caught dead wearing these. So I needed a pig for these, obviously. They're incredible. They have little pockets, little buttons, and then the back, more pockets, and even better, a little hole for the tail. I can't even. And I did then also make a little sweater to go with it. And I'm hoping that I could have this done for her, maybe like for Valentine's Day. Like, we're not stressing to get this done for Christmas. And there's a little pig that goes with it. Just the head of the pig and one arm so far. But here it is. Boop, 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 boop. So, how cute would that be? Maybe a little Valentine's Day gift. Adorable. The other thing I have in this basket is for my nephew, and my nephew requested the bear, who's the main event in this guy, Moosh and Friends. He requested Moosh, and that's who I'm making. And this is Moosh. It's a little funny with they're not stuffed yet, but you can see them. Their little ears and his little nose. It's just my favorite. And the eyes. So I'm just on arm number 1, just started. And I really want to put this to the top of the list of things I am going to work on. My family, probably like a lot of families, does a name draw for the holidays, and I am lucky enough that I drew my nephew. So I really want to get this done because he deserves a cuddly little bear. That's for him. The dogs know it's their time for dinner, so they're barking. This project I have in this basket is the last project or gift project that I have on my needles. And it has also been on them for a very long time. It is so cute. Excuse the million ends. But these are the teddy pants by Petite Knit. I made them super long so that they could be rolled up. I'm sorry, my dog is barking. I really hope she stops. And all I really have to do, I just finished all this ribbing today, so all I have to do is sew up this hole here and weave in all the ends and wash and block her. And then she needs little snaps or something up here for the shoulders because they're open, so to hold it together. But that is for the littlest baby that I've met in the last year. And I would love if she could get it for this cold winter season. That's everything that I have going on. I am very optimistic. I am very ambitious, and we'll just see what we get done. It'll be kind of fun, I think, to check back in I'm thinking like 2 weeks and just see, what did we do? What did I actually get done? Like, have we wrapped anything? Have things been sent off, or are we at a similar spot? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. That's the plan. Sorry for the interruptions from the dogs. That's life with dogs. And we'll check in soon. It is a couple of weeks later. I don't know when I'm gonna actually put this video out, but I figured I should at least do a check-in before Christmas. It is a little bit later than I intended it to be. It is December 19th. So we are just under a week from Christmas, and let's check in. Let's see how I did. Once again, I have dogs in this room. I like to film this when I'm home alone, but then it means that, like, if I'm the only human here, the dogs want to be with me. I don't know. If you have dogs, you know. The first thing I talked about last time was this shawl for my mom. It's the What Tomorrow Brings shawl, and I've done 0 stitches on it. So we're gonna just say, look at it and put it away. That one will be worked on in the new year. The next thing that was also for my mom was a pair of socks. I'm making her these striped socks, and all I had to do was weave in ends on one of them. As you can see, no, didn't do it. Still have to weave in these ends. I have a feeling I'm going to be sitting here on Christmas Eve weaving in ends. That's fine though. They can be blocked on Christmas Day. Oh, maybe that should be my goal though, to have them blocked before. We'll see. The next thing is the hat for my dad. And he had requested a black and red ski hat. He's actually skiing today, go him. And he does not have this hat yet. I think when I checked in last time, I was like down here with the ribbing. So I actually feel pretty good about that. The fact that I finished the ribbing, and then I have like two rows of color work that I've completed so far. I would love to just zoom through this and get this out in a week. This could also be like a give it to him, like one, it's just barely done. Like these are going to be my two last minute, very last things I work on, I think, because I'm spending the holidays with my parents. So there's that. This one was for my brother-in-law, and I think I've like maybe done a round or two on it. No, I've probably done like a few more than that. But really I'm just at the point I just need to do the decreases. I was working on this, and then I needed to get the DPNs out and start finagling. So I paused. But it is so fun when you get to the decreases on this hat, the hipster hat. It's just like, I don't know, so satisfying. And it's fun to do with like 5 DPNs, because then it's like a quadrant, the decreases, and it's pretty satisfying. So we're almost there. We're getting close. He will be getting this, I'm pretty sure though, after Christmas, along with what I'm making his daughter. Yeah, and we'll see why. That's also another reason why I kind of paused on this, is because I had to pause on that. But before we get to that, I have to finish the last present I had for an adult, which was this pair of socks. And this friend of mine just came back into town, so and she'll be here for a little bit. So I do want to get them done for her, like maybe by the 1st or 2nd week of January, but I'm not stressing to get them by Christmas. And I haven't done any stitches on these. So these were all the things for adults, and they were all kind of less likely to be completed. Whereas the stuff for kids, I was a lot more hopeful. Okay. So I think we'll just go on to the nieces. Nieces. I think, yeah, last time I had that in here, but I've also they're now in 2 things because things were getting really tangled and crazy. Okay, so my plan had been to, and I'm sorry for the crinkling, I have some of this in plastic bags. I meant to take it out, but I didn't. I had meant to complete the 2nd sock for her, and I've decided I'm not going to. In fact, I've decided I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to rip out these socks and start them over again. As I started on this one, I realized I started this one on DPNs, and then this one I've been doing on Magic Loop, and they're simply not the same size sock. And I've already had this happen to me recently, also from the switch from DPNs to Magic Loop, that it means I'm making different size socks. So I kind of want to just take these out and start over, doing them 2 at a time on Magic Loop so that they end up being a matching pair. Because she can't, I don't know if she can almost even wear that one, like it's gonna be so big. So I decided I can't finish those by Christmas or the holidays, so maybe I could finish the vest I was working on for her. And I did actually make some progress on it. I finished, let me pull it out first. It probably is not gonna look that much different from the last time that I showed it, but there's progress that has been made because I finished the ribbing and I've started binding off. We've bound off like over half of it, but I would still have to do all of the other ribbing to finish this. So I'm kind of shooting for Valentine's Day, and maybe even both of them by Valentine's Day. So they'll still be like a gift and for a holiday, but I'm not going to pressure myself to finish them by Christmas. And I did mention that like my family draws names to really choose who we're going to focus on for gifts. And this year I got my nephew, so I don't feel like super guilty about not completing the things for my nieces on time. Although we're gonna get to my nephew and then, is that done? That was for my older niece. This is for my younger niece, the one that's a toddler. And I have been making her this great little hoodie. It's the R&R hoodie by Tannis Lavallee. And I am currently on the hood. I made it to the hood. I finished all the shoulder raglan decreases and I'm on the hood. Problem with this and why I paused on it is that I lost yarn chicken. I have to finish the whole hood and do an entire I-cord, and this is all I have left of this purple yarn, which I'm holding the rainbow and the purple together. And I think I'll have just enough rainbow because I have a little more in there, but I'm gonna have to get a whole another beautiful but not cheap skein of yarn. So I'll have to think of a project that I can use the remainder of that skein of yarn for. So I haven't, I've kind of put this away and decided that she's not getting it for Christmas. The other thing was I was just at her house and I noticed that I've knit more things for her, my littlest niece, than I've knit for anybody else at all. And so I was like, well, you know, first of all, she's 2, so she won't notice the difference of like if she gets something or not, probably like a hand knitted gift. And also like she's kind of stocked already on sweaters at the moment. And so when this one gets to her, it'll be great. But I think it'll actually be a little too big for her, so she'll have to grow into it. And yeah, it doesn't need to be like rushed to be finished. And once I realized that, I felt kind of relieved. But basically these two, that's for her dad. So for my brother-in-law. So I would like to finish these around the same time. But let's move on to what I'm making my nephew. He is the one that I drew the Secret Santa name for. Last time I showed you this, there was only a head and shoulders. So I feel pretty good about where we are at now. We have like almost a whole bear. I've already like actually picked out, sent him his official Christmas gift because I was worried I wouldn't finish this in time. So when he gets this, it'll just be like a great bonus item, but I don't have to like stress too much about getting it there by Christmas. Although I would love to, if I can like really quickly finish it and get it in the mail. But there's also a part of me that's like, he would then be getting a bear with no clothes, which is fine. And I could just make him the clothes later and he could get them. But I'm like, do I want him to be clothed? And we wait a little bit longer before he's finished. These are the hard questions. We have been through, I like showed my nephew a bunch of different colors and let him kind of choose what he thought Moosh's color palette would be. So we are going to be going with some like navy blues, grayish blues. That's his vibe. And I'm going to start with the overalls. And then I think I will make him a sweater as well. But I am very excited to actually finish him. Like I could finish this leg today and he could be taking a bath and getting blocked like this evening. I also have to finish the little tail. So there's that. But you know, could happen. Could happen. He's just so precious. These animals, they're just the best. So that's him. And then last but not least, I have the one and only thing I've actually finished. This is the item that I have made for the littlest baby, but it's finally done. And I'm so happy. These are the teddy pants by Petite. And I have just finished putting in the snaps. I did these little I sewed little plackets to put the snaps to because I was worried about the longevity of a tiny snap pulling at one little spot on a knitwear. So I did that. So did my little tag, because and they are ready to go. They're done. I just need to, they've been blocked and everything. I just need to wrap them up and send them off. I made it so you could either clip them up higher or lower depending on how old the baby is. And then the legs are super long so they can be rolled way up. And hopefully this will last a kid for a little bit, a year or two. So I do feel pretty good about at least accomplishing this. I will say the finishings on this, all this ribbed edging and weaving in the ends and making these was a tedious process. It was kind of fun and entertaining, but it was definitely I had to have a bit of stamina just to get through it. So worth it, but a labor of love for sure. All right, that is all those gifts. We'll check in again soon, hopefully. All right, so welcome back. We are here. It is Christmas, and I want to talk kind of a final roundup of the few last things that I did finish, and then, some of the things that I did not finish, unfortunately. Let me be decent human and put that up there. So we're gonna go through, I finished, I think, 3 more items since the last time that I filmed anything. And we are going to start with the socks for my mom. I finally finished weaving in all of the ends, and I literally handed them to her this morning with still a few ends that needed to be woven in. And I then took them back, finished that, and I blocked them and gave them a little bath, and here they are. I think they're stunning. They've been drying next to the fireplace. And this is the side that has all the ends woven in, so you can kind of see where I changed colors all the way down, but I don't think it's too atrocious. And then this is the side that, this is the pretty side. The yarn that I used for these is a mix of different minis that I had, as well as some little leftovers. So I know this is Manos del Uruguay. I know that this teal is Malabrigo Ultimate Sock. And I know that these lighter teals and the yellows are Coats & Co. And this light pink are all Coats & Co. But I can't remember what some of the other ones are because there's so many colors, and I just kind of went through my basket and put colors together that I thought would be fun. These, like all of my other socks that I have knit, really are top down, heel flap and gusset. I do the slip stitch heel, which is fun and I think supposed to be more durable. And yeah, I'm happy to have these finally done. I'm pretty proud of them, and I think it is so fun to have this exciting of a pair of socks to put on and wear, peeking out of my mom's boots or her sneakers or whatever, and they'll keep her little toes nice and warm, which isn't that really the goal? I think so. So that is those. Yay, we have something finished. And then the next thing I finished is also damp because I also just gave it a bath. It's been drying for a couple hours now, but I did weave in the ends today, and that is my dad's ski hat. Yay. This bad boy took a while. Just the ribbing alone, which I didn't have to do, took quite a while. The original hat pattern I think only calls for like, you know, that much ribbing so you can fold it up once, but I decided to be overly ambitious and do extra long ribbing so the hat could be a little more versatile, maybe a little more warm. And then also, I just love the look of that triple fold. I feel like it's so nice and neat and professional. This hat is the Snofrost hat by the Petite knitter, and it is just like a two-color colorwork hat. You kind of start with black being the background and red being the motifs. And then right here, halfway through the hat, it switches and you have red as the background. So it kind of gets more red on top. And then I decided to do an I-cord and make a little tassel because he wanted it to look like, I guess like those old school kind of ski hats from, I want to say the 80s. So yeah. Let me fold it up so we can really see what we're working with. So that's her, or him. And I was worried that this might be too small at first, but now I think it's gonna be great, even bordering on not big, but like roomy. He definitely has a little bit of room at the top, and then this will stay on his head, I think, pretty well because I sized down so many needle sizes. I believe the color work was knit on a size 4, and I knit the ribbing on a size 1.5. So, I mean, obviously ribbing already does this, but you can see it definitely pulls in there. Oh, and then we got the little tassel hanging down. I knit this out of Malabrigo Arroyo in the colors black and Ravelry red. And I think this red color is actually so fun. I have a lot more left, so I have to decide what am I gonna do with leftover red. It's not like one of my normal go-to colors, so we'll see. So that's finished gift number 2. And then the last one might be what I like am most proud about and most excited about. And y'all, that's because I finished Moosh. I finished the bear. And here he is. I don't know about holding him up against the white here, because he's white bear. But he's done. I finished his little toes and his little tail, and he's been stuffed. I mean, look at the side profile on that guy. How cute. How cute. He's everything that I could want in a bear and more. These animals, I think, are mostly knit on a size 0 needle, which I still did do. However, I decided to hold 2 yarns together. The pattern just calls for a fingering weight, and I used a fingering weight plus a mohair. The fingering weight that I used is called Squishy by, I believe it's Anzula Fiber Company. They're based out of Fresno, California. And I love the fiber content. There's like cashmere and good stuff, a little bit of that they sprinkle into their fibers, and they make them so nice to work with. So this guy is so soft. And then plus the mohair is Lana Grossa mohair in like a bright white. The squishy fingering is like a slightly grayish kind of color, which you can't really tell, but it has like little flecks of gray, and it's also a little, it's like more of an off-white, which kind of works for a polar bear, I would say. So yeah, he's finally done. In the last video check-in, I was debating whether or not I should send him off in time for Christmas, and I decided not to, because I decided I really do want him to have clothes by the time that he is sent off. So I've started some little overalls or dungarees for him. I think that how these work is that kind of start here, you knit down, knit the pants, and then pick up here for like the little bib of the overalls. And then I also want to make him a little sweater. And then if I have time, heck, maybe I'll make even more stuff for him. My current goal for a lot of the gifts that I haven't finished is to have them done by Valentine's Day. And that means really just the gifts that are for my nieces and my nephew. I think it would be fun to send them all off little animals, or like my oldest niece already has her little pig, so I might send her some clothes for her pig. Obviously I have this little pig that I've already started for my other niece that I want to work on and get done by Valentine's Day. And I have this little cardigan, which I believe last time I said I was dealing with some yarn chicken, and we're not at a much further place. However, I did go and get more yarn. So that is basically out, but I have another full, beautiful cake. This is also by Anzula Fiber. It's Anzula, and it's called Cloud, and it's a light fingering weight. Like, it's definitely much lighter than the squishy that the bear was knit out of. And I believe it also has a little cashmere in it, which is, you know, a very luxe fabric to give a toddler. But she deserves it, and it's also like 10% cashmere in one of the yarns. So I'm gonna finish that little guy. And then the hat that was gonna go with it for her dad. And honestly, if I could finish this before Valentine's Day, that would make me so happy. I just feel so bad that it's been on my needles for so long. It just needs to be done. Let's just get it done. I'll put them together in here. Always goes great when you put multiple projects in one bag, right? Nothing ever gets tangled or mixed up. And then I do have these Colorwork socks. Just I'll flash them real quick. Oh my gosh, they're so tangled. I still haven't done any on these, but I'm ready to pick them back up again now that I have time and space and energy. I also would like to finish these on the earlier side, like beginning of January. The pink socks that I am going to frog still haven't been frogged. They're still sitting there, as is the vest. And I haven't done a single stitch anything on this vest. I still am like halfway through casting off the bottom hem. And what was the, oh, there's one more gift. I think that's almost everything except for this shawl that I am making my mom. And this shawl, it has all this really cool lace and cables and faux cables and texture patterns. So it was such a great thing, and is a great thing for me to practice all these different stitches. So now I just need to get back to it and finish it off. So that's what I still have to do. And I'm thinking I will do another video and check in like before Valentine's Day and be like, okay, have I finished the gifts? But otherwise I feel like pretty accomplished. I finished the teddy pants. I finished, is that it? No. Yeah, I finished the teddy pants, Moosh the bear, the hat, and the socks for my mom. So 4 knitted, hand knit items. That's not as many as I like had hoped, but on the other hand, I feel pretty good about like the quality of the items I finished. Like, this took a lot of time and energy and attention, and I've also knit like quicker gifts, hats and things that have gone quicker, but I also want to knit things that like I really want to spend the time and energy doing, so I don't mind spending that for the people that I love. And like even this hat, like it took a while, but hopefully he can rock it on the slopes. So that wraps it up for this video and for gift knitting in 2024. I hopefully will be posting another video sometime after this. I'm going to get back to some of the projects that I have on my needles for myself, and just gonna keep on knitting on, you know? All right. Talk to you soon, hopefully. Oh, and in the meantime, if you want to follow me along, I'm also on Instagram and Ravelry as California Pearls. All right. Happy holidays, y'all.